Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to the motherland, particularly Nigeria. Today I'm making some of the delicacies that we have in Nigeria. We are making Calabar bitterleaf soup. In Nigeria, when we say soup, we actually is more like a sauce that you use to eat rice, yam, or what we call fufu, or pounded yam, or semolina. So this is quite a delicacy, and anybody that knows how African cooking, especially Nigerian cooking, goes knows that we cook everything from scratch. And sometimes it takes an insane amount of time to prepare everything. So I'm going to explain most of this is done. Anyhow, here are the ingredients. You can use any protein of your choice. I prefer goat meat simply because they taste better, they have more flavor, and they are flavorful. That's one of the proteins that I'm going to use. So I have here goat meat that I have pre-prepared, and then I have, these are escargot or snails, and they are high in protein, almost zero fat in them. So they're really a delicacy. If you doubt me, try going to a French restaurant and trying to order one. They are hell of expensive. And then here we have what we call stockfish. This is already cooked and pre-prepped. It's mainly cod fish that is freeze-dried in Norway, and to preserve it forever. And we'll have a history lesson on that at a different time. But it does give the food a lot of flavor. I have ground crayfish. I have about half a cup for this. This is palm oil or red oil. If you ever see palmitic acid, that comes from palm kernel. This is the only oil that I'm aware of that is semi-solid at room temperature and has been found to actually be quite good for you. Now that brings us to this. This is the waterleaf, one of the stars of the show, and I grow these here because you really can't get them in most stores. This is what they look like fresh. I just chop those. The botanic name for these is Thallium triangula. It has numerous benefits. It is rich in nutrients and contains very high vitamin A and C and minerals like calcium and iron. It is high in fiber, which actually aids in digestion. It also helps to relieve constipation due to its fiber content, and it boosts immunity due to its antioxidant properties. It may also help regulate blood pressure and blood sugar, and it is very, very tender. You could replace this, if you can't find this, with baby spinach, but it is very, very fine. Just take a look at it. It's a beautiful vegetable. Then the next one is bitterleaf. So again, is another vegetable with powerful properties and great benefits. Most people have seen bitterleaf tablets in the stores. Those are made from bitterleaf. This is the raw bitterleaf, and this is what it looks like after you clean it up. And the reason why it looks like this is that it is highly bitter. The botanic name for this is Venona amygdalina, and its benefits includes antiparasitic effect. Traditionally, this is used to treat malaria due to its anti-malaria properties. It is rich in antioxidants, which help boost immune system. I guess was seeing how the theme is in all of these vegetables. It also helps detoxify and supports liver function. It aids in digestion and reduces constipation. It has been implicated in regulating your blood sugar and blood pressure, and it is also used in skincare, especially for eczema and acne, and it has an anti-inflammatory properties. Again, it is so beautiful, and this plant actually is quite hardy in cold weather and in the heat, so it seems like nothing can ever kill it. It just grows quite well, and I've been growing it for a few years. You can drink the water after, you can wash it and drink its water, but it is very, very bitter. It's not something that you probably want to do on a daily basis. You may want to take it once a week or a few times in the week. All right, so let's get started. So let's get to the stove and start cooking. We are going to put this in the pot to cook together with the snail and the stockfish. All right, what I forgot to add was that I also had some dried catfish added to the meat as well. So the proteins that I have is the goat meat, the dried catfish, which we call dry fish, the escargot, which is snails, and then I'm going to add this cod, or otherwise known as stockfish. So we're going to add all this. We're going to let the meat cook for about 10-15 minutes before we start adding the rest of the ingredient. Once you've actually finished preparing all the meat, the food comes together so quickly. The meat has cooked. This is all the protein that I'm going to need. So now we are going to get this done. So we'll start by adding the water leaf, which I have here. I'm making quite a lot because, like I explained, this takes a lot of preparation, and so you don't want to do this all the time. And so you want to let the vegetable incorporate. The water from the water leaf will actually seep out, and it will make it a little bit wet. But look at all that green. You don't want to cook it under high heat. You want to reduce it so that the water will really get incorporated. We're going to cover it and let it simmer for about a few minutes. The water leaf vegetable has simmered. You don't want it to overcook, so you still want the green color. So now we are going to add the 1 cup of crayfish, and then we are going to add the oil. And this is where the magic is made. This is about 350 ml of red oil, and this will get transformed. It looks amazing. At this point, you want to taste it to see if it is to your taste. It is good. You still want that freshness of the water leaf. You let the crayfish and the oil simmer for about 1 or 2 minutes before you add your final ingredient, which is the bitter leaf. So now we are going to add our final ingredient, which is the bitter leaf, and then we mix. The bitter leaf gives us its own unique taste. Once we add the bitter leaf, we turn up the heat and the food is cooked. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to show you how we eat it. Now, I'm going to show you how we make the pounded yam that we eat with it. We have water, and we're just going to make the pounded yam. So to make your typical fufu, this right here is yam flour, and this is white yam. This is not sweet potato. This is actual yam, the brown large tuber. So once the water boils, I have about 100 grams of the yam flour. I might not use all of it. So what you want to do is to just put it in the boiling water and cook it till it thickens. Quite simple, depending on how thick you want it. You have to make it to a consistency that you're able to hold it in your hand. Once it's cooked, you would know it actually is quite tacky to touch, and it should all clear. There should not be any left in the pan. So this is done, and now we're going to turn the heat off and dish it up. This is all. So now for the taste test, my hand is clean. Normally we eat it by hand, but some people will want to use some fork, put some vegetable. It is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. I'm not going to use the fork because that's not how I eat it. Here is how we eat it. And you want to really take it in your hand and dig in and just go like this. This is so good. You should try it. Most people can't get most of the ingredient here, but if you know any African or any Nigerian that can help you get it, ask them. This is amazing. This is healthy. Like I explained, all the vegetables that we use here are all medicinal. If this video has been of value to you, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button so that we can notify you when we upload new videos. This is Dr. Okeke. Thank you. God bless.